CoryxKenshin is a complicated creator.
Well, if it isn't my sugar bear Booski.
The joke is he needs to pull out a Glock for a girl version of him.
I'm here for the cheeks.
Is this your king? Your king is making skits about being essayed by Sonic. From Wuthering Heights of being one of, if not the most famous black nerds that paved the way for creators of color.
YouTube in general doesn't care about black people like that.
This is the highlight of Cory's career, point blank. To more painful revelations like that in the Panda Papers regarding abuse.
Did you watch me sleep? Did you watch me sleep?
Yeah, I actually did something to you while you were asleep too.
What?
I'm sorry, I just got this fetish that I do. You know. I didn't hurt you. You're good, right?
Joking to your partner about doing something to her while she slept. A partner that has expressed to you that she is a survivor of SA, and you're saying this on camera, knowing fully well that you're recorded, is unequivocally and unambiguously one of the worst career moves I could think of. Oh God. Some myriad of misinformation, moving pieces, and some purposely put there to hide the truth. So we looking back but black on CoryxKenshin. On today's Foreign Friday.
It's a foreign man in a foreign land.
We gotta address CoryxKenshin because everyone been missing the point. But given who CoryxKenshin is, he deserves a Negrospective. His career is a case study for a lot of things. We going over the good, the bad, and the black of CoryxKenshin. Some housekeeping I have to address. There will be no misogyny, no racism, and no survivor shaming in the foreign land. Now, an account named Panda Ninja XXX Official dropped a TikTok where they did the bacon avocado trend where she reveals that she dated Cory and he hurt her.
Bacon avocado.
I dated CoryxKenshin and he hurt me really bad.
I can't stand this trend. But essentially, she just said she dated CoryxKenshin and he hurt her really badly. And this actually foreshadows like one of my issues with discourse online. Right off the bat, it really just shows how futile online discourse is, especially like on platforms like TikTok. A survivor is coming out about abuse with a campaign on one of the largest creators in the world. And the way that that information is communicated is through a silly TikTok trend where you say bacon avocado quickly and then say something else slowed down and pitched down. It's the same problem I have with replacing serious words with grape and unalived. Like the language, the medium itself has been bastardized to the point where something that should be treated with gravity gets contextualized in a way that ruins the communication before it even begins. This TikTok dropped Sunday evening and a series of TikToks followed it. But by 4 a.m., y'all know Big Buddy is be up at the ass crack of dawn. The internet was like Gotham with no Batman. I'm gonna show y'all some of the samurai defenses of CoryxKenshin later, because while this Negrospective is about Cory, I really want to focus on the fans. I see y'all in the chat. I won't focus on the fans. The samurais them, because I want to know what Cory has done to turn y'all into FBI, law and order, Mark Harmon, Doug Stamper niggas overnight. He have his own defense team and he ain't paying y'all niggas, but y'all acting like y'all clocking in double time. But in order to get to that, we must start at the start. Cory started his YouTube channel in about 2009, I believe, doing what most creators at the time were doing, which is skits. This is good stuff. Before I get into the criticism that should have been a red flag we saw from time, let me start with the good. Because you gotta give it to Cory for being one of the first and probably most famous black, I'm not gonna call him the W slur. Don't call him the W slur. Apparently that is a slur. I didn't know that. I had to find this out. No, not woman enriched female. It's a slur for people that are not Japanese that like anime. Okay, yeah, all right, you said it. I hope that you have a W card. You gotta give it up to Cory for being one of the most famous Blerds at a time when it was far less popular. This was 2009. Dog got the samurai swords in the background, the Pete Wentz hairstyle, which, mind you, that is not a wig. Dog was fully committed to looking like Panic at the Crisco in 2009. That's admirable. Big up Cory for this. As a black man on the internet, we do owe Cory some flowers for making it easier for us to showcase black masculinity differently online. For showing that we can have more variegated interests than playing basketball and Riz content like doo-doo garbage them. We owe Cory some flowers for being bold enough to fry his hair till it more flaccid than a limp noodle. I rate him for that. Cory was counterculture in this case, but not every case, as you will soon see.
Let's do it. Cue music. All right. What's up, YouTube? How's it going? Oh, there you are.
What the dog doing?
As you can see, he falls for the same trope as a lot of creators at the time, like King Bach, D-Storm, Shane Dawson. He is falling for the same trope as a lot of creators at the time, as well as even celebrities like Tyler Perry and Eddie Murphy, which is pirating black women. And I know a lot of folks will claim that this was a standard for humor during the time. And that's the damn point.
Well, if it isn't my sugar bear booski. Oh, hey Kelsey, what a surprise. I was just getting ready to call you. You shut that hole in your face and you listen to me.
The joke is like he needs to pull out a Glock for, I guess, girl version of him.
That hole in your face and you listen to me. When were you gonna tell me you moved, huh? Mr. Kenshin or whatever you like to be called on there? Well, there's actually this funny story. You keep that bull manure of an excuse. You've even told them, your fans, on that dumb website YouTube, but you can't tell me, your girlfriend, that you moved? And you've told them what college you're going to? No, they don't know you. They don't like you. Oh, I'm CoryxKenshin. I'm going to college. Oh, I make the YouTube videos. Kelsey, look, here's the deal. You see, I love these people here that I talk to on YouTube. Oh, did you guys hear that? Because I totally didn't mean for you to hear it, so.
I see folks trying to address the fact that youth, and I agree. But me personally, I have never engaged with pirating black women by frying my hair and putting on a crop top and makeup and lipstick and then making a skit of which I find a black woman to be so dangerous that I have to have a gun on her. I too was young. I just haven't done that, I guess. We might just be built differently. To be fair, he straight ironed his hair 24/7 back in the day. It was always deep fried like this. Like not even for a bit, but non-stop. I'm not attacking Cory for upholding the status quo of comedy at this point, but more so bringing attention to how universal and timeless these tropes are. This was in the late aughts, and the same thing happened with folks like Kai, Sinat, and Drewski today. They still doing that. This foreshadows to the abuse discussion, because there's an argument to be made that I've seen people making that Cory uses black women for comedic relief in skits like this. Thus, there should be no surprise that he prefers non-black women in his personal life. This isn't like a revolutionary observation to make. When these niggas were looking for wafus, I don't know how you pronounce it, but when they're looking for wafus, they don't be looking for black guys. I mean, straight up. Anime is a product of Japan, and Japan ain't known for being racially sensitive. So to be a black anime fan to the point that Cory was at, you're gonna be consuming a lot of anti-black content. That's not to say that we can't watch anime and love black women. I do. And that's also not to say that anime is the only media that has anti-blackness throughout it. It's not. But a big part of Cory's brand is the alt-black nerd. And if we haven't learned anything from Childish Gambino and them, there is a very explicit Blerd to Nigcel pipeline. The Blerd to Nigcel pipeline that is lubricated by anime, Reddit, and Xbox Live chat rooms. Y'all is need for the worst thing to happen to begin to peep the things them. We don't have to go outside to know when it's raining.
Sure is an amazing day to be a superhero. What's that?
Classic Cory skit, and it's very much a product of the times.
Drug dealing on school property? I don't think so.
Okay, so the fact that he's doing the Naruto run, putting his arms behind his back and doing that, I ain't gonna lie, he very much in that. I talking about in it. Oh God. My boy hands back like he doing the relay right now, my lord.
Honey.
My lord.
Blood G, homie, Skillet, Diamond, Blood Diamond.
That's the homie.
Where you at? I got the stuff, man. I ain't gonna be sitting here forever. Got to be saying my last name out loud like that. Oh, there you go. You got the money? Man, you got the stuff? Yeah, you got the money? Man, you got the stuff?
While Cory is definitely different in his aesthetic and his love for anime/alt culture as a black man, he still falls for the same trope as a lot of the black Vine creators at the time.
Got the money? Man, you got the stuff?
And that is to essentially parody being a hood nigga, I guess. Stereotyping yourself for comedy. And I want to focus on the institution rather than the individual here. As a black creator, like I know this very well, especially as a black man on the internet, there's an urge to assimilate into the acceptable forms of consumption for blackness. American culture is the zeitgeist. And a lot of American culture is formed by black America, period. And therefore, culture worldwide is mostly myopically focused on American culture and entertainment. You know what the foundation of American entertainment was? Minstrelsy, Amos and Andy, Birth of a Nation. Why you think Disney keep remaking its old intellectual property rather than making new ones? Why Travis Scott bastardizing Barrington Levy classics talking about wibbly wobbly 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 whoa? Oh God. Why do you think they do that? It's because it works. It's safer to play the greatest hits than to make something new, because the greatest hits are proven and tested to work. The same thing with content. If you know this, as a black creator, you know raccoonery, gadoo, Drake numbers. You know if you play the stereotypes of blackness, that it could sell like crack in the Reagan era. Cory is doing what he can with what he has. Would I have liked for him to do something that isn't safe and showcases us in a different light as a black person? Sure. But the beef ain't with Cory, at least at this point. It's with a system that makes Cory successful for minstrelsing himself as it does Speed and Kai.
Yeah, you got the money? Yeah, I got the money. All right. Here go the stuff. That's what I'm working with. 10 kilos, baby. What's up? What's good? 10 kilos, baby. I've been trying to get some crack since I came out the womb.
This is what dog be doing.
That boy.
Trigger warnings for SA.
Get the pump. That's a must. Okay.
Take off your bands.
Take off my pants. Who the freak is you?
I'm the year 2020.
Okay, why are you dressed like Sonic though?
Oh, this is just a costume to represent how fast I am. Don't run. I'ma make it worse.
We all have our moments. Bro, I never made a skit talking about sex. Oh God. I never did this, dog. I didn't get down like this. I was playing PS2, the big box version of PS2. This was just 2020. I was jamming the big ass PlayStation with the big box, the thick one. That's what I was doing. I was jamming Tenkaichi and Budokai and things like that. This niggas was making skits about SA, about him getting SA by Sonic.
Honey.
He don't run. Like I'm about to sit here and take it. Bro, I ain't staying for this.
Hey, now where you going?
Okay, so you gonna go that way too, huh?
You can't outrun time itself. I'm here for the cheeks.
I knew this was a cursed year.
Don't run. Hey. I love it when they run. Gotta go fast.
You can imagine being inside your house and you come into the realization that you can make a skit where you get assaulted by Sonic? Oh God. You can imagine conjuring that up?
Haven't you done enough this year? Why are you putting in overtime? Leave! Enough has happened.
He doesn't understand. I'm time itself. Now I'm gonna make it worse for running.
Oh God. Is this your king? Your king is making skits about being essayed by Sonic. The joke here is essay, dog talking about getting his cheeks clapped by time itself. This is not in 2009, this is far more recent. His humor has not matured much because he is making light of a very serious occurrence, and considering the abuse situation doesn't bode well for the future. But I'll say it again, this isn't unique to Cory. Cory is a part of the gaming community, and as we know, them man are known for this type of talk. Them man are known for saying they can clap some cheeks in a game. But speaking of gaming, that is actually where Cory is most known for. Cory got his big breakthrough in 2014, I believe, when he started playing horror games like Five Nights at Freddy's, and that really catapulted his popularity into another league.
What the freak? What?
Want a Sprite cranberry? Want a Sprite cranberry?
No, I don't want a Sprite cranberry.
Want a Sprite cranberry?
Oh my God.
Want a Sprite cranberry?
Tito's. The freak down. What the heck? This dude just did an exorcism sliding into the room. There's a guy walking. Why the freak is this guy walking? Why is this guy walking? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Bro, get behind the counter. Oh my gosh, bro. Press the button. Let's go! Spill it on him! Spill it! Get up! Get up! Yeah! Oh yeah, baby! Oh! Now you know he did. Get him out of here! Put him in a body bag! Hello? Woo! What the freak?
This is what catapulted him into popularity, where he started even experimenting like with other types of content, cooking content even. By 2017, he had hit 2 million subs, and that was after primarily playing horror games, and he ultimately hit 10 million subs in 2021, and that was like the apex of his popularity. He was even featured on the FNAF movie.
Where to, little lady? What the? Oh my goodness! Not cool. Why do I always get the weirdos?
Before I get into the criticisms, I want to underscore how much of an anomaly in not only the creator space, but in the gaming space, Cory is. This man was side by side bar with niggas like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie. N-word enjoying PewDiePie. Nazi uniform wearing and Mishima reading PewDiePie. The North remembers. I will never forget. The gaming space is a hostile environment for black people, period. The fans of the space think having a woman in your game is woke if she don't look like a Rule 34 drawing. Don't believe me? Like they legit have a nigger quota for characters in your game before they say it is DEI slop. Oh God. Just look at Osman Gold and his roach roommate. Go into his stream. Actually, don't go into that nigga stream. Please don't. But take my word for it. If you take a shot every slur you see in Osman Gold's chat, you will die from alcohol poisoning. Not only the fans, but it's the creators of the space, because they cultivate an environment where that energy could breathe. John Sean being racist and xenophobic about Mexicans. Pewds repeatedly saying the N-word, not just on the bridge. I would need a whole stream just to memorialize the amount of chicanery coming out of the gaming community. The only nigga I rate in the gaming community like that is the black grandma that is video game donkey. And if dog do something, I got dead. I got sign out a life. The racism is baked into the games themselves. The developers don't be having no black people in the room when they designing these games. You had a whole black woman have to make mods just so she could see herself in The Sims. That's how the modding community started. I made the racism in gaming video on the 4Man channel, and I tell you right now, still to this day, this was years ago, and it's one of my best videos. I enjoyed that video very much. Watch it afterwards. Still to this day, the niggas will comment, I didn't get Last of Us. And the whole PhD holding scholar, black researcher that wrote a whole book on racism in gaming did not understand Last of Us and understand the reason why the black gal, I think it was Nora, the black gal had to get beaten to a pulp, and you had to have little white kids that is be spamming the N-word in Xbox lobbies, pressing L1, 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 L1 while they mashing this gal down. Apparently the plot though, they say the plot is the reason why she was getting mashed down and not because she was a black woman. My lord, I say all that to say that Cory was a rose growing in a concrete garden with no sunshine. He was beautiful. Even so far as making a manga series in 2024. I would be remiss not to note, Cory called out the system itself on its favoritism and racism.
But to me, you know what it comes off? It comes off whenever CoryxKenshin starts doing some crazy numbers or getting on trending too much, we got to find something. We got to get him for something. He's got to have done something. I mean, I bleep out cuss words in video games. Like, I literally... This is the YouTuber that you want to have smoke with and have problems with. I believe there is some racism involved within the policy team, and YouTube in general really doesn't care about black people like that. They got their favorite creators. You know, log out of YouTube. Log out and go to YouTube. You'll see the people on the front page every single day. You'll see the favorites. Count how many are black. Count how many are of people of color. So then what does YouTube try and do? They try and peddle YouTube black. They try and give us a spotlight.
Big up Cory for this. Everything he's saying is totally facts. There is a bias. There's an implicit bias in these systems, in not only just YouTube, but these systems in general, because the people making them have a bias. So you could expect that there will be bias baked in. Cory called that out. And a creator at this level who has already shown that he is inclined to upholding the status quo, or at least working and operating in the confines of what is acceptable blackness and respectability, parodying himself and playing to the stereotypes of being black. Of course, the religious aspect, which we're going to get into shortly, but being a God-fearing Christian man, being a non-problematic gamer in a whole sea of white, for him to come out at his level, at his apogee, and to say that YouTube has a racism and a favoritism problem. I remember when this dropped. I remember being in rooms with YouTube faculty and staff and them sharing this, and they were just like, let's talk about this. This had an effect. This is actually extremely important, and big him up on that. This is one of the highlights, in my opinion, the highlight of Cory's career, point blank. I wanted to say that before I say what I'm going to say.
Do you know how condescending and patronizing that is? Oh yeah, let's give a spotlight to these black creators because we're all about diversity. All this communicates is black people aren't good enough on their own skill, on their own merits, on their own talent. So we got to give them a spotlight. We got to come down and raise them up so they can get some spotlight action. Well, how about you save all that YouTube black, all that fake patronage, all that fake pandering that you guys do. And when you have a black creator coming to you repeatedly saying, why am I being treated differently than other creators? And then you come back and, oh, we got to age restricted. And then, oh no, we got to.
I might not necessarily agree with the whole we should allow black creators to be judged not by the color of their skin, but by their merit. As I said before, Cory was a rose growing in a concrete garden with no sunshine, but he had his share of thorns. Speaking of thorns, I'd be remiss not to address one of the most ostensible things about Cory's brand, Cory's faith.
Luck, huh? I don't need luck. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing.
I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last.
Oh God! Oh God, indeed. Side note, I realized that I never asked y'all to subscribe in any of my videos. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Foreign Fridays channel on YouTube. We trying to hit 100K on the Foreign Friday YouTube. I realized like I never talk about that, and I just feel like, wonder why niggas ain't subscribing. It's probably because of that. Now, this begins to dig into why I think samurais struggled so much during the abuse discourse. But to be honest, if you're anything like me, this should have been your biggest and brightest red flag. Cory has made Christianity a foreground of his brand from the beginning.
Let's pray, everybody. This should do some good. This will do some good. Give me your hand. Yeah. We pray to God, right?
Great ones.
Nope.
Hear our voice.
Nah, I don't know who they praying to. No thank you.
As you can see, he very much performs Christianity. This isn't making a commentary on his commitment to the faith, but it is a part of his performance. And it would be naive not to note how he has leveraged that into creating this innocent, holier-than-thou image. And that was actually weaponized against people when it came to these allegations.
I had to make this video during break. You know what I'm saying? CoryxKenshin, allegations. The true samurai know. Oh boy, oh God.
I trying my best, but y'all making it hard for me. Y'all making it hard for me not to talk about how y'all niggas is look. But I can tell you this, you look exactly as you sound. Nigga got a face for radio. How many people in this chat? Couple thousand? This is the most views that this nigga is gonna get. Big up Lord Fatal, that's his name. Big up yourself. Way to go. You did it. This man alongside a legion of mandem who we will soon address, because the samurai fan base gotta be one of the most fervent fandoms I've ever seen for a black man to display video games and dress up as a gal on the internet. My God.
The true samurai know. Oh boy, wouldn't do nothing like that. Oh, fate, bro. Y'all just want them views. That's what y'all want, bro. Y'all just want them little views. Y'all want them little people to see y'all. CoryxKenshin, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry that everybody going against you right now, bro. But I'm gonna stay true. You a man of God.
He's personally apologizing to Cory and saying that he is a man of God. His teeth are the same color as the Doritos. I hope it's because of the Doritos. This nigga look like a biohazard.
I believe fully and faithfully that you wouldn't do something like that. And if you did something like that in the past, I'll forgive you.
Why these niggas love? Why dog? Ain't no way. Dog doing tricks. Dog bouncing, pun it, twist it, spin it, flip it, rim it, bop it. Niggas say he could never do it because he's a man of God. And if he did, that he will forgive him. My ma wouldn't even defend my deeds like this. My Lord. One of the things Lord Fatal, which is blasphemous by the way, has to say about Cory is that he's a man of God and therefore could do no harm. Dog think that it's his place to forgive people for his abuse to someone else. Okay. Note the defense being that of ethos. A man of God bolsters Cory's character. Despite the irony in the blasphemy, folks are deifying Cory and assigning him godlike omnipotence that makes him seem above reproach. Not only the others who are onlookers of the situation, because if you don't know anything about the situation, you just seeing people come out defending this by saying he's a man of God, so you're just saying, oh yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, I guess, well, you know, why are they getting mad at this black man? Why are they trying to tear him down? They're not only deifying Cory to themselves, but they're also doing it for anybody else that's looking. Let's look at some more Cope. How my soul felt after finding out that my beautiful, glorious, gorgeous, smart, sexy, talented Cory didn't do shit. Like that man is a man of God. I knew damn well something was off. Here's another person saying they tried to bring down someone who, this is an epistle, by the way. Speaking of religion, this is an epistle. This person wrote scribes adducing to Cory's godly persona and how the deeds he was said to have done could not have come from such a divine dude. They tried to bring down someone who's done nothing but pour light into the world. CoryxKenshin isn't just a YouTuber. He's a man of faith, a leader in spirit, and one of the few who've never strayed away from his values, even when the spotlight got brighter. From the very beginning, he stood firmly in his beliefs, proudly putting God first, speaking truth when others said silent, even though he right now is silent, and moving with intention in a space where so many get lost. Let's see another one of these. They got this nigga holding a goddamn katana yet again. They got it spitty right now, saying, I knew Cory was a man of God. There's nothing that this man could do to make you do this. I's a man who's confirmed. I went to Catholic school. I was an altar boy in the Anglican church. So before anyone claims that I'm just a heathen, before I make my criticisms, I want that to be the context of this criticism. Cory performed a Christian image. That's not unique to him. I mean, it's Illuminati, who I also loathe. Let me know if I need to do a Negrospective on him as well. But he had that weird spiritual soul thing he be doing, where he frying his brain from the outside in. He's a sun gazer. He do geyser, looking at the goddamn sun. You expect me to think that man have anything of value to say to me after he been looking at the sun for copious amounts of time? Y'all wild. And while I hear, I'm really tired of the persecution complex. Let's start there. Because y'all acting like Christianity ain't the most popular religion in the goddamn world. Y'all acting like y'all some damn Taoists or Zoroastrians or something like that. Getting back to Cory, this doesn't negate his faith, but him doing it on camera and ending every video with a Bible verse is by design. It adds this wholesome sheen to his image. His branding is his barrier during times of controversy such as these. People who buy into this man of God persona will find it difficult to believe a godly man can do evil. It's the way that Jerry Falwell Jr. could be the leader of Liberty University, and he could be a godly man in one breath and a sexual predator in the next. And the sad part is, this belief that Christians are infallible is anti-Christian in itself. Jesus was hanging out with whores. Oh God. Jesus was hanging out with the downtrodden, with the dregs of society. Some of the best Christians lead conflicted and nuanced lives. But this puritanical brand of Christianity has co-opted the faith and made believers of it perform a purity and piety that is antithetical to the Christian faith. And the samurai subscribe to that facade of Cory, the one that could do no wrong, which will bring us to his wrongs. Panda Ninja uploaded a series of notes where she details the abuse she endured while dating Cory. And I want to preface this by stating that there's no clout to gain, money to earn, and fame to find in being a victim, especially for women who are abused. We have seen countless times with high-profile cases like Diddy. Not likening Diddy to Cory, but rarely is there justice for survivors confronting their abusers. If anything, there's more pain, more isolation, and that is by design. Because the system isn't broken, it's operating exactly as it should. It's humming. And the system is there to protect abusers. Because those abusers, whether you like it or not, are your uncles, your dads, your cousins, your brothers. Whether you like to believe it, you know abusers. You love abusers. You may not even know that they are. And you, I hope, will never have to deal with the dissonance of finding out someone that you love is an abuser. And God forbid, in that moment, your reflective urge is to deny those victims of their reality. So with that said, I want to read Panda Ninja's testimony. I didn't want to do this, but I don't owe you my silence anymore. There's no clean way to start. Just that familiar weight in my chest while the world kept applauding someone who never showed up for me. I was never part of your world publicly. You made sure I stayed close, just far enough to be invisible. Your followers eat up the whole, quote, man of faith image you push. But faith without basic decency isn't faith. It's branding. You talk about devotion, but act like hurting people in private doesn't count. That's not devotion, that's hypocrisy. You fooled a lot of people, but not me. When I met you, I was at one of the lowest points in my life. I was still healing, still trying to remember how to love myself after going so long without it. I had all this love and nowhere to put it. And for a moment, your attention made me feel seen. Like maybe I wasn't invisible anymore. Even writing this now has me crying so hard, I can barely breathe. The pain still lives inside me like it just happened yesterday. I'm not writing this because I still care. I'm writing this because I've carried too much silence. Anytime I tried to speak up, you twisted it into something wrong with me. While I sat alone, replaying every word, breaking myself apart just to make sense out of it, they were out here calling you a positive role model. You ghosted me, not because you were confused, but to teach me a lesson. You made me feel like I had to shrink to earn a reply. Every move was calculated, even if I couldn't see it back then. This was your punishment: silence, distance. Disappearing like affection was something I had to earn. Like loving you too loudly, like I needed to be put in my place. You never showed up when it mattered. You only came around when it was convenient, when you wanted something, when it was easy. But when I needed care, support, the bare minimum, you vanished. They'll never know how many nights I cried quietly into my pillow, trying to convince myself it wasn't that bad, just so I wouldn't have to admit how deeply it broke me. And then came the subtle jabs. You once asked if I wanted to know how much you made. I said no, because I didn't care. I've never depended upon anyone. I've worked hard my whole life and made my own money. You made sure your absence cut deeper than your presence ever comforted. And the worst part, that kind of damage takes effort. So congratulations. You treated my body, my heart, my time like they were things you could shelve and retrieve whenever it suited you. Like I only existed when you needed to feel wanted. But still, you made me feel small for the job I had. Like I was a disappointment just for not living up to your standards. I never asked you for money, your platform, your help, any of it. I didn't want what you had. I just wanted to be treated like I mattered, like a human being. But even that felt like too much for you. It probably bothered you that I wasn't impressed, that I didn't melt for your image, your ego, your self-importance, that I saw right through you and still gave you the chance to be real. The card said, quote, Naomi, the way I feel about you is real. You are so wonderful, so gentle, and kind. Not to mention sexy. Ahem. Winky face. I miss you, and I hope this puts a big old smile on that pretty face. And then came your one grand gesture. Flowers, candy, a teddy bear, and a card. The first thing you ever bothered to give me. The last thing that felt remotely real. But that version of you, the one who actually cared, never existed. It felt like maybe, finally, something was different. For a split second, I let it crack my armor. I let myself believe you. When you called that night and poured out a heart-to-heart, said, I've made a lot of mistakes, but you were never one of them, I cried. Because even after everything, I still wanted to believe you were capable of being good to me. And then the next day, someone told me they saw you in California with another girl. I already knew where you were going. You told me that part. But you snapped at me. You said it was your sister, got defensive. I wasn't accusing you of anything. I just wanted the truth. But your reaction said everything, even if it was really your sister. All I did was ask calmly, the way anyone seeing someone would. I'm not the type to pry or get jealous over anything. But when the details don't add up, I pay attention. But you never said who you were with. So I assumed you were with family. That's how it always was with you. I never really knew what you were doing. Just whatever pieces you decided to share. The guilt always slipped out before you could cover it. You always gave yourself away, and then you ghosted. Do you know what that kind of pattern does to someone? It rewires your nervous system. It teaches you not to trust softness, not to believe kindness. It makes you think that if something feels good, it's probably a setup. That was the real you, not the sweet, funny persona you flashed on camera. Just a selfish, image-obsessed coward who cares more about looking good than being good. You couldn't even stay in the same room as your own consequences because accountability doesn't get likes, right? And still, I gave you the benefit of the doubt. Every time, I let your excuses rewrite the truth, just so it would hurt a little less. I held your chaos like it was love, because that's all you ever offered. You know how badly I wanted to be loved, so you breadcrumbed just enough affection to keep me hoping, then called me crazy for wanting more. I spent so long asking what was wrong with me, wondering how I could show up with my whole heart and still not be enough, trying to be softer, quieter, easier to love. But the truth is, I was never asking for too much. I just kept pouring into someone who never planned to give anything back. I kept handing you chances, kept trying to make sense of the hurt, kept believing maybe there was something good in you worth holding on. That part's on me. But everything after that, that's all you. This was just the beginning. Part 2 comes late tonight. I want to hold space for the survivor here because she is aware of Cory's fan base and she knows the fallout that comes from confronting Cory in this manner. This is her last-ditch effort for resolution. There's only more harm for her in doing this. So why would you do it? Keep in mind, Cory is one of the largest creators ever, and she is saying that he abused her. For the folks that are claiming that it's a bad boyfriend at that, do you know what it is to see your abuser regularly? Not just in passing, like in real life, like you all work together, but lionized as a celebrity and a man of God. That's psychological terrorism. But that being said, in this admission so far, the harm done here is emotional and psychological. The worst is yet to come. Part 2. where it gets worse. And then came the Xbox messages. It wasn't even what you said. It was how casually you said it. Like nothing you had done had ever left a scar. Like you hadn't already shouted me once and just got bored. Now I want y'all to take a quick second and note that this is what an Xbox Live chat looks like. This is Cory's account. Panda says, okay, so what's up? Cory says, you still seeing someone? Panda says, why do you ask? Cory says, because I'm trying to f*** your life up some more. Panda says, what? Cory says, that was just a joke. I was just asking. Panda then says, never heard you curse before. That's why it threw me off. Like it was funny, like it was cute. As if the pain you caused the first time wasn't real. The confusion, the trauma, the aftermath. All just a joke now that you were bored again. My chest locked up. I wasn't even surprised. Just furious you'd still had the audacity to crawl back in like you were welcome. Like I'd let you ruin me again for your own entertainment. You didn't come back to make things right. You came back because with me made you feel powerful. Because you knew I used to let you in. Because you counted on the damage you did to keep me soft. Because you thought I'd be too broken to bite back. Cory says, because I wanted you. Panda says, wanted me how? Cory says, like how I've always wanted you. Panda says, like in a relationship type of way or something else. Cory says, like something else. Panda says, that's kind of messed up. I wasn't a toy. Cory says, I know that. I wasn't just about to message you after a year and ask you to be my girlfriend. Do you hear yourself? You knew I'd survived SA. You knew how hard it was to feel safe in my own body. I want y'all to take a second and really remember the fact that he knew that she is a victim and a survivor of SA. Keep that in mind. You knew how hard it was to feel safe in my own body. And you used that as leverage just to remind me how far you'd gotten. Threw it in my face like I should be flattered. Cory says, I'm glad. I'm the same. I don't f*** with anyone. Double bummer. Panda says, the difference between you and I, though, is that I don't do it with just anyone because I was abused. I'm not saying that for you to feel bad or whatever, but for you to understand. Cory says, I know you told me that. That's an acknowledgement of the fact that Cory knows that she told him. Cory says, I know you told me that. So Cory is admitting that he knows that she told him that she was a victim of SA. Cory says, I didn't know I got lumped into that category with the person that did that. Panda says, because I was being used for that. I guess that time when you told me how you felt was not real too. Panda then says, but I guess I was just a good... Cory says, when you said relationship, I thought you meant I was just gonna ask you out. Panda says, nah. Cory says, I mean you were, but that's not all you were. Anyway, doesn't matter, you're with someone. Panda says, that's how it felt at the time. Even if I wasn't, I wouldn't have let you again. And when I did that with you is something I just don't do with anyone. Cory says, you wouldn't have let me again? LOL. Panda says, no, I wouldn't. You didn't want me. You wanted access. The version of me who froze when things felt wrong, who kept forgiving you because I thought love was supposed to hurt. When I pushed back, you got defensive. I don't know why I'm lumped into that category. F you put yourself there. You crossed lines you had no right to, and you knew exactly what you were doing. Then you tried to backpedal, like everything could be undone if you called it a mistake. But it wasn't a mistake. It was you, being you. I didn't have my shit together, but I still showed up, with heart, with honesty, with care. I never used my chaos as an excuse to mine someone else. Then you had nerve to say, I loved you back then. I didn't really have my shit together. Really, you had the money, the platform, the fans, the house, the car, everything. You had every tool to be a decent human being, and you still chose to be careless with someone you claim to love. I find that people equate monetary success with virtue. Money just makes you the person that you are with resources. Some people say that it amplifies the person that you are. At a particular point, I do believe money corrupts. People make the misconception, like they talk about Elon Musk. Okay, he's rich, so he must be a genius. No, they couldn't be that bad of a person. Look at all this stuff. If he was a bad person, he would be in jail. It's not the way that it works. In fact, it's the opposite. Your ability to perform financial adeptitude does not mean that you're a better person, especially at a particular point. At some point, you've exploited someone. When you get to a level of wealth, you had to have exploited someone else's labor. Cory says, backpedal. You were never used for sex. I need to make sure you understand that. I loved you. Like I said, didn't have my shit together. Panda says, you loved me. How is that possible? But I guess empathy doesn't hit the same when the mirror's not pointed at you. Because if someone can say, I loved you after they've already destroyed you, what does love even mean? And if anyone else is reading this, I want you to ask yourself something. How would you feel? Would you keep making excuses for him? Would you still tell yourself it wasn't that bad? Because I did. I did for a long time. I held in everything while they held him up. What makes it worse is how many people still praise you. How many don't know who you really are? How many built their platforms just by orbiting yours? And while all of that was happening, something else started happening to me. You're isolated, terrified, too stunned to tell more than a handful of people because you barely believe it yourself. You walk out knowing your life just shattered, yet somehow you still have to keep walking. You're staring at the doctor's mouth, but the sound's already gone. No tears, just shock. Like your soul stepped out of your body and left you alone to hold the news. Heart slamming against your ribs, tunnel vision, thoughts collapsing under words like chemo, mastectomy, radiation. And outside, the pandemic makes sure no one's there to catch you. What would you do? If the nurse called your name and the moment you sat down, the world stopped making sense. And I quote, TNBC, stage 3A aggressive. And what did you say? So I reached out to you. I didn't reach out because I was weak. I did it because if my time was up, I wasn't taking your unfinished damage with me. I reached out to people not for comfort, but for closure. Because when you've survived trauma like mine and you're forced to face the possibility that your story could end early, you do what feels right for your soul, whether anyone else understands it or not. Cory says, that was the most passive-aggressive cancer reveal ever. LOL. That wasn't just cold, it was cruel. It hit harder than the diagnosis itself. If that kind of cruelty comes easily, were they ever human at all? I lived. And when I came out the other side, I wasn't alone. I was held by people who loved me with no agenda. That's what healing looks like. That's what love actually is. And you said it anyway. So what was your excuse? No questions. No compassion. Just a joke. You knew my story. You knew I'd already been through hell. You watched your own mother go through it. You saw what it did to your own family. You felt what that word means. The fear, the fight, the way it rips everything apart. That was the moment I realized who you are. That was the moment. Because anyone who can witness your pain and feel absolutely nothing was never someone with a soul to begin with. Heartless. Even after I cut the cord, I couldn't breathe. Because you weren't just a person I had left behind. You were a name the internet wouldn't let me forget. You were still everyone's favorite post, and no one knew what it cost me. Your fans kept showing up in my DMs acting like they had insight, but they didn't know a damn thing. And of course, there was N. She found me through your Xbox friends list, checked my profile, saw my IG in the bio, and followed me. And I didn't know that yet. Just another gamer sliding in. Nothing strange at first. Then one day, she posted you in her IG stories. And something in me paused. Part 3 coming up. I want you all to stick a pin in the fact that she knows that he knows that she is a survivor of SA. And she expressed that she has a cancer diagnosis of which he flippantly brushed off, saying that's the most passive-aggressive cancer reveal I've ever had. Part 3. They were watching me too. So I asked, oh, you're a fan of Cory? She said, yeah. I said, I'm not. She followed up with, why? It came off like a curious question, like maybe she knew more than she was letting on. But I wasn't about to assume. So I kept it short. We dated. It didn't work out. I didn't realize how she even found me until later. After that post and our conversation, something fell off. So I did some digging and saw she was following you on Xbox. That's when it clicked. She must have found me through Xbox. I don't know how many others she did that with. At the time, she hadn't done anything weird. She seemed nice, just another follower showing support. We had light conversations, nothing alarming. She liked some posts, messages here and there. And when you're a creator, that kind of thing happens all the time. So I didn't overthink it. But the vibe was off. Like she was watching more than connecting. I didn't have proof, just a gut feeling. And I should have listened to it. They didn't have my full story, but they knew enough to see that you weren't good to me. And somehow, N knew too, before she ever even interacted with me. That's when things started to click. They listened. They removed the part about me. That's when they clarified they weren't trying to come for me. They were trying to warn me. And they were calling N out. Then the anonymous IG account showed up. They started calling out directly. At first, the way they worded it made it sound like I was a part of the problem too. But that wasn't the case. I messaged them directly to clear it up. Because this wasn't new behavior. N had done this before. Turns out, she had a reputation in your space. Though I didn't know that then. I was still assuming someone, especially you, might step in and shut the chaos down. The account eventually explained their full intent. They wanted the truth out. About you, mostly. But also about N. For the cruel, manipulative shit she was doing in your community. Inserting herself into the lives of women you were once connected to, digging, meddling, then twisting things. N messaged you directly. Tried to paint her own version of the story, one where I was the problem. And you were aware of what was happening, but you never asked what was going on. Never checked in, never even questioned why your name was suddenly tangled in the quiet drama. No apology, no courage, just surveillance. And although I hate drama, and this was never something I wanted to be a part of, especially when I was minding my own damn business, it started to feel like a sign, a push I didn't ask for, but maybe needed. You just watched it unfold like it had nothing to do with you. And not long after that, one of your close friends, Brandon, someone who had never acknowledged me, suddenly started watching my IG stories like clockwork. Like he was assigned. Like you were waiting to see if I'd finally speak. And looking back, I'm grateful. Because of that, I met the others. The women you heard. One by one, I got introduced to more of them. Women with stories. Women with messages they never sent. Women who saw the same patterns. The same affection when it benefited you. The same withdrawal when emotions got real. Blame always shifted onto the other person. For the first time in a long time, the weight I had been dragging alone didn't feel so heavy anymore. We weren't alone, and we weren't broken. Just convinced we were. Jesus Christ, Bro, you know what it is to hurt so many people that they have like a Cory anonymous for you? They stayed quiet, just like I did. Because they didn't think their voice would matter. Because it's easier to carry the pain than to explain it. But pain doesn't need permission to be real. Maybe I was meant to be the one to speak. Until they're ready to. Some people told me to stay quiet, thinking it would protect me. But that kind of protection still hurt. Because it made me feel like the world wasn't ready to hear the truth. And maybe it still isn't. Maybe they'll still side with you. But I'd rather be hated for telling the truth than stay silent to protect your comfort or their denial. Why speak now, as if timing ever made truth more comfortable? Because I was tired of living like your name held more weight than my voice. Tired of wondering if speaking would get me heard or destroyed. Afraid that the second I said your name, people would stop seeing me and start labeling me. And the world would care more about protecting your reputation than hearing what you did. While everything I am, everything I built, risk being overshadowed by you. They are not alone, because everyone deserves that moment. The one where it's safe to exhale, to feel seen, to be heard, to remember they're real. This is my story to tell, and theirs to protect, until they're ready. This was never about revenge. This is about accountability. You wore kindness in public and cruelty in private, and silence helped you get away with both. I'm done swallowing my story so you can keep your fake reputation intact. Why didn't I leave? Because I was human. Because I wanted to believe he wasn't as cold as he acted. Because part of me thought love meant fighting through the worst. People love to ask, why didn't you just leave? Like they've never clung to the wrong person out of hope. Like they've never swallowed up their own voice just to keep peace. But they've never asked, why did he make it so hard? Why did he keep coming back just enough to confuse me? Why did he never let me go, but never fully choose me either? He hurt people. He manipulated, discarded, and walked away clean every time. I'm not the first, and I won't be the last, unless someone finally says something. I didn't speak up for years, not because I had nothing to say, but because I knew how the world treats women who speak against men with status. I knew I'd be labeled as bitter, jealous, unstable. I knew his fans would tear me down before they ever tried to understand me. Because I knew people would stop seeing me and only see who I was connected to. I want to take a second to notice the fact that she wrote this before they did exactly that. She predicted exactly the way that the response would happen. Doing it here in real time exactly, Anna. Look at just like the chat in general. The amount of people that had to be banned. And behind all of that, life was heavy. I was dragging pain nobody could see. Trying to survive shit I couldn't even name. Let's get one thing straight. I didn't write this for you to believe me. I'm not here to ruin him. I'm not asking you to pick sides. I'm asking you to sit with the truth, even if it makes you sick. I didn't stay because I was weak. I stayed because I wanted to believe it would get better. Because I forgot what I was worth. Because I didn't know how much damage had been done. Because when you're constantly made to feel like you're the issue, you start believing pain is what you deserve. But I'm not that girl anymore. Even soft girls snap when they've had enough. And I had enough. You don't know me. You don't know him either. You know the version he shows you, the one you want to believe. You weren't there. I was. So if you want to excuse him, go ahead. But own what you're defending because you're now a part of it. You're not defending a good man. You're defending a mask. You can side with him, just don't act surprised when more stories surface. You've been warned. He didn't just hurt me. He hurt many. You don't have to wait for the proof. The red flag's are already there. If you love yourself, leave now. Before you lose pieces of your mind, your heart, and your identity. Trying to decode a man who was never meant to be held. Because no version of yourself, not the strongest, most beautiful, or most forgiving, can fix a man who is addicted to power over your soul. Find someone who doesn't destroy the people who love him. Because he doesn't just hurt people. He mentally chips away at them. He makes you question your worth, your memory, your tone, your reactions. That's not just bad communication. It's emotional and mental abuse. Now ask yourself this. Would he stay if things got real, messy, vulnerable, human? Would he show up when there's nothing in it for him? Would he make you feel safe or just make sure he feels comfortable? Would he be there if your life fell apart tomorrow? To the girls still watching with hearts in your eyes, thinking you'd be the exception because you're different, prettier, more understanding, more his type, you won't be. He doesn't need a better woman. He needs to become a better man. And he won't. You could be stunning, soft, loyal, everything he claims he wants. And still, it won't stop what's coming. To those who looked up to him, I know your experience may have been different. Some of you found comfort in his content, maybe even hope when you needed it the most. And I won't take that from you. But the truth I've shared here is mine. It may be hard to read. It was even harder to live and write about. If this changes how you see him, I'm sorry for what that takes from you. But I couldn't keep swallowing my pain just to protect the version of him that the world wanted to believe in. I know not everyone will be ready to hear this. Some will deny it, some will defend him, some will twist it into something it's not. Because facing the truth is harder than holding on to the version they were shown. People will say what they want. They always do. I didn't write this for them. I wrote it because I was there and they weren't. And that's the only difference that matters. No extra words, no permission, no apology. Just truth. That is just a whit, a fraction, infinitesimally more difficult than probably what she had to go through. And what seems like many people have had to go through. Panda Ninja detailed a harrowing account of her relationship with CoryxKenshin, and she notes something that I'm going to return to, which is not unique to Cory's community. But I see it a lot online, and I've been a victim of it too, which is the dissonance between who Cory performs and who Cory is. The relationship that the samurais have with Cory is not with Cory the person, but Cory the avatar. And I want y'all to stick a pin in that. First, we have to address this video. After Panda uploaded what I refer to as the Panda Papers, she uploaded this video. The caption reads, "You didn't know this was one of the videos you would look back on and realize he never cared. He just wanted to see how long you let him hurt you."
I woke up again and it was all.
Did you watch me sleep? Did you watch me sleep?
Yeah, I actually did something to you while you were asleep too.
What?
She asked if you watched me sleep. Cory said, "I did watch you sleep and I also did something else to you." Joking to your partner about doing something to her while she slept. A partner that has expressed to you that she is a survivor of SA. And you're saying this on camera, knowing fully well that you're recorded. It's your job to be recorded. Is unequivocally and unambiguously one of the worst career moves I could think of. Oh God. Niggas in the chat that don't wipe their ass, can you agree on that? Can we agree that this probably isn't the best look, whether you did it or not? To say to her on camera isn't a really good idea. If that's what you could say on camera, I don't know what you could say in private. And remember what we said earlier. He is aware and he has admitted to her telling him that she is a victim of SA.
I'm still on.
Then I woke up again and it was all.
Did you watch me sleep? Did you watch me sleep?
Yeah, I actually did something to you while you were asleep too.
What?
I'm sorry, I just got this fetish that I do, you know. I didn't hurt you. You're good, right?
Oh God. Fire Phoenix. My God. You have your boy here knowing, seeing the camera, and specifically talking about he did something to her in her sleep, and the first thing he could come to is, "I didn't hurt you." What? From what angle could you look at this as okay?
What did you do, Cory?
Just don't worry about it.
Cory?
It's good.
Cory, what did you do?
Do nothing. Look, this came right in my face. I didn't do anything.
From this video, there's nothing that you could say to tell me that the emotional abuse isn't real. There's no context, no angle, no nothing that can be added to this to make this look any different from what it is. Emotional and psychological terrorism, and your desire to wait for more elucidation by anyone. You waiting for Cory to come and clear this up, or you putting the survivor on trial? That is simply sycophants for an abuser and upholding a society where women are abused and don't come out about it. If you out there saying, "I waiting for the Messiah, Cory, to come back and clear all of this up and everything's gonna be fine," what can you say to excuse him telling his partner, who has already expressed to him that she has been a victim of SA and a survivor of SA? What can be said to mollify that, to make this clip any different than what it is? At best, he didn't do anything in her sleep, and he's just a dickhead for psychologically and emotionally abusing her, making her feel like though she did. At worst, he actually did do something to her in her sleep. Which reality are you comfortable in living with, oh samurai? And folks is claiming that they're laughing about him saying he did something to his partner in sleep, a partner who has expressed to him that she is a survivor of SA. The claims that the laughter nullifies the abuse and makes this a joke. The only thing y'all saying that tells me is that y'all self-reporting and y'all have absolutely no literacy for abuse at best, or at worst, y'all are knowingly laundering abuse by writing it off as a joke. Truth is, online, this nigga is be playing horror games and praying in front of the camera, and offline, he's be going MIA, abusing gal them, and frolicking in Japan with the ooh people them. Oh God. The narrative quickly spread that the Panda Papers claimed that Cory SA'd her. And I see there are some folks inside the chat who are saying the allegations are fake, he never SA'd her. We read all of the Panda Papers, right? We read what this woman said. Did this woman say that he SA'd her? But somehow, that is what was spread like wildfire by Monday morning. And the SA narrative obfuscated the Panda Papers entirely, leading to Panda feeling compelled to clarify what she didn't even need to clarify in the first place. This is Panda's official page. She says, for clarification, he did not SA me. He didn't need to say that, because you never said that to begin with. However, she felt compelled to say that. After looking more into the CoryxKenshin case, I've come to a conclusion that most of y'all niggas can't read. Oh God. You have people in here talking about, nah, for real, that girl knew what she was doing. She knew. See, I'm having a stroke trying to read this. You have people trying to defame the gal mere moments after coming forward with a whole panda papers detailing the way of which she's been emotionally and psychologically abused by a nigga who literally laughed at her saying that she has a cancer diagnosis. She literally had to come out and basically say, hey, he didn't do that. He did not essay me. But at this point, they saw the clarification that she's making right here as a retraction. And then a dog pile ensued. You had a Twitter thread where Panda retracted everything. However, we later find out that the Twitter thread that was apparently a smoking gun was not even real. The Samurais faked a Twitter thread. You had niggas inside the chat right now, like a couple minutes ago, literally saying that the smoking gun was, well, she retracted it. Everything is fine. Everything is, she didn't do it. I know my goat would never do this. The reason why they think that is because Samurais themselves, Cory's fan base themselves, took it upon themselves to deep fake a survivor and retract the statement that she actually made, and until they upvoted it into oblivion to obfuscate the actual panda papers themselves. Logging out now because y'all are blowing up my phone. I'm sorry for this little troll. It is badly humored. I'm just bored and I hate to see Cory under bad light without him getting even a chance to try and give us his side of the story. Have a good day and pray for our goat. The Twitter account was fake. It was made by the Samurais themselves. They created a fake account to muddy the waters further with doubt and build upon our reptilian instincts to not believe women in general. They didn't even stop there. They did more than just that. These niggas faked a Discord. Oh God. Remember I noted that when we were looking at the conversation between Cory and Panda, that it was on Xbox. Look at how many upvotes this has. And they said, literally made yesterday, I didn't even think to check. Claiming that she made a Discord. Claiming that the victim, the survivor, made a Discord just to defame Cory and that they discovered it. If you recall, the convo between Panda and Cory wasn't on Discord. To be abundantly clear, it was on Xbox Live. All of this just to debunk a survivor. It was later verified.
Account with 30K followers, 87 friends, 2 following. This is it. Chat, this is it. I don't have the messages. Check his friends. All right, I'll check it again, even though I just did. Oh wait, no, I didn't. Never mind. Okay, so this is all his friends. This is his old account from back in the day. This is it. This is his old account. Look, this is his account. Look. This is back in the day. Look.
Later, folks were able to verify the Xbox account to add veracity to the Panda papers, but it was already too late. The Samurais done announced this man the winner of the allegations, like there's a damn UFC fight or something. By the time that they did this, it was already too late because in the court of parasociality, Cory already won. And they were doing victory laps. Here's the Samurais celebrating about faking a fraud Panda papers.
Yeah, you stupid bitch. See, that's my clout chasing. Like, oh my God. Like, if the nigga didn't essay you, what's the point of posting in the first place?
The Bleach soundtrack deserves better than this. 19.7 thousand likes calling a woman that detailed the abuse that has been done to her in light of her cancer diagnoses. And this man celebrating a win over her and calling her out of her name.
Yeah, you stupid. See, that's my clout chasing. Like, oh my God. Like, if the nigga didn't essay you, what's the point of?
People don't take psychological and emotional terrorism seriously. Dogs think he doing his big one, saying that if it wasn't essay, what's the point? As if essay is the only form of abuse that you can dole out to anyone else. When I would venture, that is one thing to take your body, is another thing to take your soul. Psychological and emotional terrorism at a particular threshold can drive you to take your own body. Y'all don't sleep on invisible abuse. Don't sleep on that. In your own lives. Don't for a second think that just because a nigga don't touch you, mean that he ain't actually harming you. That goes for the man them too, because we endure a lot of psychological and emotional emotional abuse a lot of the time. A lot of niggas inside the chat right now suffering silent battles. Suffering silent battles that ain't even inflicted upon one person, but society itself. Psychological and emotional abuse can drive you to hurt yourself until your actual physical abuse has been manifested. And then the person don't even need to get their hands dirty because they ain't physically touch you. So him saying that if it is an essay, then why even post it? It's a self-report.
Posting in the first place. Then you go talk about some goddamn, oh, I'm not looking for attention. I'm just finally voicing what's been on my mind. If you don't get over that old ass, and I could tell that old too, because this is when Cory had up teeth.
Bro, so much is going on here. For one, there's no moratorium on abuse. The things that you are listing as reasons as to why she should be discredited are actually only discrediting yourself. She knew this was gonna happen. She predicted this shit. She saw this shit coming like that's so Raven. And you are, in fact, adducing to the point when you ask, what is the point? This.
Oh, if you don't like.
Sorry, I forgot. Secondly, this boy said he knows all because this is when Cory still had messed up teeth. The fact that you know that, oh God, you've been watching this man too long and too hard. That's like if a nigga came to me in the chat, say, foreign, I see that you hanging to the right side today instead of the left. Fire feet outs. Are you Becca checking like that? Meat monitoring spirits, blood.
You're sad about a toxic relationship. If you don't get over that, you're a grown ass woman. Get over that. You got a job.
You don't. You don't. My lord. There ain't no way, bro. Cory ain't gonna let you hit. This ain't even just the man them. It's the gal them too. Caption saying to Panda official, cause why couldn't that have been texted?
Take that bitch where she don't wanna go. Take that bitch where she don't wanna go.
Being a loser is gender neutral. You're at your cooking job, I would assume, making a TikTok in defense of a man who abused a woman. A man you do not know and does not know you. And you in here swinging in your apron, multiple of them, declaring that this war is won because they bullied a woman that came out about her abuse into submission and into private in her account. And then claiming that that in itself is a victory. You need to charge your phone.
What if my soulmate's name is John? What if my soulmate's name is John? What if my soulmate's name is John? I'm talking to you of your first name.
You'll have to find these clips, edit them together, find one song to put it to, just to celebrate you bullying a survivor of assault and abuse into private in her account. They say, let's go. He's innocent. Someone literally saying he emotionally abused her. This boy right here could say, cause their relationship had dark humor in it, but Cory would take some a little bit far, same as his ex. Emotionally, not physically. We're so hooked. Bro, it was so bad that it pressured Panda to drop a follow-up to her papers after she saw people coming to celebrate that she retracted her statements when really she just clarified something that she didn't even need to clarify because she never said in the first place.
I just really want to make this clear that, and this is very important, I'm saying this literally with all my heart. This was never about defaming Cory at all. It literally was me venting about something that happened to me in the past that did hurt me. I felt at that moment that I wanted to share with people that may have similar experiences like I did. And that's basically it. So basically what I'm going to show you now is everything pertaining to the situation. As proof, this was literally not intended to attack or have attacks towards Cory.
People don't believe in visible abuse. They need marks. But the thing is, we already know that that's a goalpost that y'all are very committed to pushing back because we've seen, even when they have marks, even when the abuser drags the person on the floor and there's surveillance footage of it, even when the person has batters and bruises all over the place, y'all still celebrate them. they are still celebrated. They are still protected. Chris Brown just performed and just got accolades at the Grammys, even though his abuse is memorialized. Diddy will essentially get out in far less of a time than he is owed. Cassie and them are trying to clamor about and figure out how they will protect themselves because the person that they risk their lives and careers to adduce evidence to their abuse is out. You have people who would rather see Megan Thee Stallion, I don't know, clamor in pain because she's a black woman that is vocal about her own sexuality. They would want to see her clamor in pain. They will put on capes to defend a nigga who they cannot name 5 songs by. Tory has nothing in his discography to warrant the amount of meat riding and keeping that they have for him. Y'all don't love Cory? Sorry. Freudian slip. They don't love Tory as much as they hate not just Megan, but black women. Tory being in jail is representative of justice for black women. That's all that is. And niggas can't take that. They're not defending the niggas, you know. They are defending the niggas' right to do wrong because they see themselves in these niggas doing wrong. So when a nigga is held accountable for it, they see that as them potentially losing avenues to do abuse. That is what you're seeing when people reflexively defend masculine abusers and denigrate victims of assault and abuse. That's what it is. They're defending the status quo. They're defending their potential ability to abuse.
As proof, this was literally not intended to attack or have attacks towards Cory. So please stop the essay allegations towards him. That is not true, and that's not what I said. There was no cheating or pregnancy. There was no editing of messages. Those were literally rumors that they made you guys believe because they were trying to bring traction to their content. Oh, other creators or whoever was trying to say something or do something. I literally said, and I'm emphasizing this because people keep thinking that this is what I wanted and this is not what I wanted. But I literally was not looking for follows or attention or any clout. I literally just posted it just from my experience and to heal from my experience. I just want to address the fake messages that have been going around or tweets or whatever it is that people are editing. They're fake. If it's anything outside my TikTok, they're fake. People are obviously taking that so they could bring traction to their channel. I gave what I had to clear up the false allegations against Cory, and that content creators made up is not fair to him or me.
I want you to realize that she's also running interference for Cory himself. Cory's not even defending himself, but she is. She is noting the fact that what the samurais and the fans and the creators that are vulturing this topic is saying and doing on his behalf is actually making it worse for Cory, for her, for everyone involved. This nigga ain't even speaking on the topic because he's yet again potentially going the route of many successful creators who have probably had counsel of anybody who has done this for quite a bit of time, and that counsel is ignore the allegations. Mr. Beast did it, David Dobrik did it, Cody Ko did it, Cory doing the same thing, and it looks very plausible because Cory is go MIA anyway, and it works. As someone noted, system, the institution, the voracious appetite of a drama cycle and a drama machine is gonna turn over in a week because this happened on Monday. And you had a whole bunch of slop channels making videos, essentially doing exactly what the people that we saw, the yamheads that we saw before, reporting on false allegations made fraudulently to defame and discredit the survivor themselves. And the persons that did it so that they can get whatever clout or whatever proximity to not even Cory, but probably Cory's audience. Because they don't see that audience as a deal breaker. They see them as an opportunity, a business opportunity. It's a symbiotic system of which people feed off of others' misery, misfortune. The slop channels are reporting on it. And I know y'all know who exactly it is. They are feeding on the carcass of the Panda Papers.
If it's not dropped on my TikTok, please, it's not legit. Anything on Twitter pertaining to the situation at all is not legit. I have no friends involved in this. People who claim to be friends, unless said by me, are just looking for attention.
So Panda did a screen recording to essentially show that the images that she provided inside her TikToks were not doctored, because it's very difficult, of course, to doctor a screen recording like this. To recap, the internet has awful media literacy. So people misinterpret it either by mistake or on purpose, or the abuse that Panda outlined in her Panda papers to mean sexual. So when the internet ran with sexual abuse, she then later came up to clarify, even though she didn't need to because she never said it, that Cory didn't essay her. Yet again, she never said it to begin with. However, because clarification in a cancellation discourse is used and interpreted as a retraction, which is why samurais began celebrating their goat-beaten allegations like it's a goddamn football game and not abuse. And their celebrations teamed up with malefactors running interference by creating fake screenshots and people that are inconsequential to the abuse coming forward simply to debunk her, like the gal that say that she's her roommate from however long ago. All of these things in concert began to become more popular than the abuse itself. The reporting and the subterfuge and the memes and the jokes ended up eclipsing the actual Panda papers of what she actually went through. An attempt to outline her abuse in the face of mortality because she found out that she had a cancer diagnosis, and in an attempt to outline her abuse and potentially let other people know that might very well idolize and deify Cory, they ended up making memes and discourse out of her. The T-Channels began making videos about how Cory beat the allegations in under 24 hours when it's simply this misinterpretation of abuse being cleared up by the survivor when she never said anything about SA to begin with. So you have the samurais branding this as a woman trying to tear a black man down, which reveals an uncomfortable truth that some people really don't want to admit. But it ain't so much as y'all have a problem with racism being used to dismantle black figures with fame, and that if he was a white man, then it wouldn't have gone down like this. They don't really care about the racism, nor the health of the black community, because if you did, you would be as eager to address the abuse as you are to defend it. That ain't the problem. The problem is a lot of these samurais and a lot of the folks in general, because it ain't just the samurais, a lot of y'all see what white men get away with and y'all want to get away with it too. Y'all see people trying to hold Cory accountable for abuse as the inability for you to abuse. This bigger than Cory, because the root problem is the way that we engage with parasociality. It's bigger than this. The stands need to stop. Samurais, y'all ain't no different than the Bobs, the Bayhive. It's not even about the figures that y'all lionize. It ain't even about Cory. It's about the fixation for fixation's sake. The obsession with obsessing. Y'all are building identities based on avatars. Not even the real people, but avatars of them. Y'all make their opinion yours, so you don't have to think of them for yourself. So no wonder that y'all go into attack mode when your fave gets allegations, because it's no longer about your faves being accused of something. It's the accuser attacking you, the fan, and your character, because you have built it upon a nigga on the internet that can hide between jump cuts and the 18 hours in a day when the camera ain't on. You don't know these niggas. Oh God. And if you actually cared about them, you wouldn't zealously advocate for them, because y'all are horrible lawyers. Y'all end up making things worse for the injured parties as well. It's also worth noting that when these OG YouTubers are being criticized, their fan bases associate a lot of their childhood nostalgia with these figures. So not only do they find it difficult to conceptualize that their fave could do no wrong because of the facade their fave performed in these manufactured videos, but nostalgia is deceptive, because memory is fallible. You probably can remember Cory better than the image he even presented, because you fill in the gaps of your memory with everything else you're nostalgic for in the past. Cory wasn't even as good as you think Cory was. You ain't only nostalgic for Cory, you nostalgic for the big back TVs, you nostalgic for a reality where your ma loved your pa, you nostalgic for a reality where you could afford to go to the goddamn movie theater for $5 instead of $20. You miss your youth, and Cory was a part of that. Y'all amalgamating all of your memories of your childhood, of the times when you were blissfully ignorant of this, and you're mourning the death of your infancy. But Cory was not a Cory that you remember. You're filling in the gaps. Cory is a person. We are people, and we are fallible. And if you deify us, you dehumanize us, especially black folk, because we already need to work twice as hard for half as much. Niggas need to be granted the flexibility to because when we mess up once, it's a confirmation to the already preconceived lizard brain bigotry that has been established from time immemorial. Don't deify Cory, don't deify me, don't deify none of these niggas, none of your faves. Because when we frig up, and we will, we deserve the humanity that grants us grace to learn and to grow from it as well.